enjoyed our time together, made connections with new people, and joined us at future Latinx Theater Commons programming. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we have coming up, but there's more information on our website, and you can also subscribe to our mailing list if you want to learn more. So coming up next, we have the Maria Irene Fornes Symposium in Princeton, New Jersey in March 2025. Yeah, then we have the Actors Training Laboratorio in Tempe, Arizona in March 2026. Then we're staying on the West Coast for the summer of 2026, and we're gonna do the Carnival of New Musical Theater in San Diego, California. Okay, yeah, we love California. And then we'll do the Forum on the Future in Washington, D.C. in the summer of 2027. So we have a lot of exciting things coming up and a lot of ways for you all to get engaged, so I hope to see you in any of these cities over the next few years. To keep up with all of the things we are doing, again, subscribe to our newsletter or follow us on Instagram at Latinx Theater Commons. You can also join our Facebook group. And so now I'd like to introduce you all to two people who serve on the LTC Steering and Advisory Committee, Olga Sanchez and Eric Schwartz. Olga was at the first convening in 2013 in Boston. She is a part of the very first LTC Steering Committee and continues to support as part of the Advisory Committee. And Eric was actually a fellow at the 2017 Encuentro. Yeah, and then that inspired him to join the steering committee of the Commons in 2019, and this is actually his first Latinx Theater Commons convening. Yeah. They are incredible artists, advocates, and collaborators, and they are going to close us out tonight, so let's please welcome them.
Just jump into two mics, please.
We're going to try to keep this short and sweet because we all have a show to see.
So this was an amazing weekend. We want to add a few more thanks to everyone who made this family reunion possible. To Dylan and Daphne for their co-championship, to the LA Host Committee. To Jacqueline, Tara, Amelia, Jay-Z, and Juliana, who were everywhere this weekend and always with grace, humor, and excellence. To HowlRound for its support, for spreading the word, for sharing so much of this weekend's conversations with our wider community through live streams. Hey, live streams. To you in live streams. Jose Luis, Evelina, Jeff, Lucy, and Sal, who opened their Latino theater company and LATC doors and their hearts to share the bounty, the art of the Reencuentro for our national convening. To all the Encuentro Artistic Leadership Fellows, awesome representation. To all the, I know we did this, but to all the Latino Theater Company staff, amazing, who worked so hard to make the festival and the convening operate so smoothly, no small task this. And thank you to the 19 companies and 167 artists whose work has inspired us.
Un aplauso. So we want to take a moment and hear from all of you. So we're going to popcorn for a second. So just shout out as you are inspired. How would you describe this weekend? How would you describe the shows you saw? Love! Love! What else? Belonging. Energetic, variety. Funny. Inspiring. Gnarly, revolutionary. Eclectic, fierce. All right. Tears. And fierce. Okay.
Fierce, tears.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Mi gente. Presente. Huepa.
Beautiful.
Bilinguality. Yes. Bold. Magic. Truthful. What was that? Desert. Latinacity. We like it. Chingonaliciousness. Okay. Yes. Advocacy. Sensory. Delicious. café, 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 y aún más café. Yeah?
Cool. Awesome.
Spooky.
Bueno, bueno, bueno. So speaking of spooky, no, it's Dia de Muertos. Feliz Dia de los Muertos. And we know that we are here because of so many artists who came before us, who forged the path, who inspired us, and in whose footsteps we continue to shape the world that we present, that we share, that we co-create. Let us just take a moment in silence to hold those people in our hearts. Think of an artist, of an ancestor, of someone that you just want to bring into this space. And if you can take another moment, please turn to a neighbor. Introduce yourself if they don't know you, but also introduce your ancestor or the artist that you're holding in this moment. Share with them the person who inspired you, a person who inspired you. We have many, but just take a moment, have a conversation, tell them why. I'm thinking about Ruben Sierra, who
Oh, all right. I'll get through it.
we will.
Yeah, we will.
This is nice.
This is
I
nice.
like this. I feel like we're still telling stories.
Yeah. I love the coffee. It's beautiful.
I like this. I like the spirit of this.
Yeah.
Maybe another 30 seconds. Thank you so much for bringing your people to this circle. Can we honor that they are here? Dia de Muertos. Exacto. Todos juntos, can we please say presente? Presente. Thank you.
All right. So next, we were so inspired by the manifesto that Jose Luis shared at our opening ceremony that we decided that it would be fun to craft one here in the closing ceremonies. So you got a brief little questionnaire from us, asking the question and asking you to respond. What do you envision for Latine theater, for your theater and art, for your artistic community, and for our movement together to transform the narrative?
And so, herewith, our manifesto of the commoners, based on your responses and thoughts that you shared throughout the weekend. First, we are inspired to remember the people on whose land we gather this and work with gratitude. We are on the ancestral homelands of the Gabrielino, Tongva, Chumash, and Kizh people.
We envision Latine theater as a platform that transcends language and race, emphasizing common human experiences through arts to inspire unity and transform the cultural narrative. Bizcocho o pastel? The answer is yes, and it depends.
We envision an inclusive field of passionate artists telling stories that matter, and let people feel seen. A field of radical inclusivity where we welcome in people peeking through the windows at our work. We sometimes tell ourselves these windows don't exist, but they do.
We envision a space where we don't have to defend our culture and can recognize that Latine Theater hosts a culturally pluralistic body of people from North America, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean, where we acknowledge that we don't know it all and do our best to learn, even as we share the complexity of our cultures and histories.
We envision a mutual support network that uses the tools of theater to establish survival strategies for the impending apocalypse.
We envision spaces of abandon, imagination, and belonging that allow for a broad multiplicity of visions to be manifested through courage and love. Oh, and that we find ways to truly uplift each other.
We envision being sisters to each other.
We envision an emphasis on collaboration, both artistically and through the craft.
We envision a sort of digital platform just for us and who are here at this encuentro and the communities we come from, where we can post and share some of our work with each other, kind of like a national new play network, but just for us, with work, with our work samples, be it sound examples, media, or photos of design, scripts, etc. So we know exactly where to look for our own work to produce and uphold.
We envision finding ways to work with the digital platforms as bridges, while also remembering that for some they are barriers, to speak to each other across many different bridges.
We envision an environment where our art can prioritize our well-being, pay us enough to meet our needs, and provide us health care so we can fully delve into being artists without having to struggle to make our art, and where we consider the health of our artists and our audiences as we make and share our work.
We envision empowered expression and a robustly celebrated legacy.
We want to manifest the courage to write down our truths, courage to share our voices, and courage to listen deeply. Yes, as Diane said, struggle is part of the deal, and we do grow from taking risks.
We envision a solid network of collaborators, supporters, and advocates, supporting each other towards creative freedom.
We envision the unapologetic unleashing of power and justice to sharing our stories, truth, and dreams by including all the voices of Latina communities, past, present, and future, that our world leads to healing and liberation and enacts a more equitable and peaceful world.
We envision an expansive and supportive environment fueled by passion, innovation, and a limitless curiosity for what has been, what is, and what's still to come.
We envision a future encuentro that will host deaf Latin theater makers, playwrights, actors, designers, a theater making that doesn't leave super titles as an afterthought of the creative process, but takes into account where people have to look to read and where they have to look to see the performance, where we think about the impact of our work on our collaborators' bodies.
To continue to dismantle narratives that show us as anything less than the powerful, beautiful, strong, and talented people that we are.
We envision a time when writers develop their voices without sacrificing their originality for their careers, where we understand and embrace our superpowers in the halls of legitimacy, and how we can walk into those rooms and bring others with us to elevate the circle.
We envision a future where the united colors of our multi-hued stories become the guiding force for all the magical experiences that Latine teatros and theaters can bring to the world. With our rainbow of tongues, we speak in many ways, including silence.
We envision a future filled with long-developed artistic work that is funded by the capital of our time and not focused on the capital of funding.
We envision a robust financial landscape so that the artistic visions of the next generation of leaders can be inclusive, provocative, artistically risky, aesthetically diverse, and in service to their communities without the burden of being resource poor.
We envision a decolonized practice, one that recovers what's been erased, where characters speak what audiences cannot, where we are free, where designers and actors are embraced as dramaturges, where the center may not be the text, but maybe the sound, the costumes.
We envision a limitless commitment to expand the definition of Latinidad by relentlessly focusing on community building, understanding each other, and radical artistic thinking.
We envision the creation of accessibility training for all Latina artists that serves physical, mental, emotional needs, and beyond.
A faster moving, responsive theatrical art that speaks to our community's current events in days, not months or years.
We will tell our stories to our people on our terms. We believe in the Commons, a space owned by no one and contributed to by all, that it will expand, permeating the work until the movement turns to stillness.
That we name power dynamics, practice ego death, extend forgiveness, and make wild art. It was all caps.
Work that empowers, community that uplifts, supports, and opens doors for each other.
To inspire a world of resistance, of love and accountability, of a ritual of reclaiming and celebrating our existence.
We hope for continual coalition building towards justice.
More opportunities to convene together.
More collaboration.
Remembering, furthering community, opening spaces, and envisioning tomorrow and beyond.
Theater by us, about us, for everyone.
Let us walk down the river, no matter the stones, together.
Adelante, mi gente. We are the Commons. Thank you. I love how some of those are like in contrast and, not in conflict, but they're like, oh, ah, ooh, ah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Multifaceted. As you know, the Commons is made of commoners. People who, it's not funny. People who envision our future, but also roll up their sleeves and get to work to make the future happen, to make it visible. We commit ourselves to our shared goals.
What do you commit to? How are you going to work locally, regionally, nationally, and globally to amplify our stories and transform the narrative?
Eric,
Olga?
what do you commit yourself to?
I recommit myself to co-championing the Commons 2027 Forum on the Future happening in my hometown, Washington, D.C. Olga, what do you commit to?
Well, Eric, I actually commit myself to that project because it sounds super cool. And I also recommit myself to working on the Fornes Institute that I love so much.
And so now we'd like to hear about your commitment. And so we have one final group activity for all of us to do together.
When you came in, I believe you were handed a piece of seed paper. We invite you to write down your commitment. Local, national, international, regional, on this piece of paper. There should be writing implements available as well. Cool?
And if you need, please put a hand up. People will come down to you.
Yeah. Take a minute. Thank you. And,
While you start doing that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this paper. This paper contains tiny seeds from 10 annual and perennial species, including snapdragon, petunia, beard tongue, daisy, thyme, poppy, catchfly, maidenpinks, and manzanilla. If you plant this paper in a pot or garden, cover with just an 1/8 inch of soil and keep moist until the seeds germinate. Once sprouted, these wildflowers can grow up to 3 feet tall.
So yeah, please just take a moment and write your commitment on your seed paper. And don't think too hard. Just lead with your passion.
now that you've written your commitment, take this opportunity to turn to someone new, perhaps someone you haven't met yet or you don't know super well, and we'd love for you to exchange your commitment seed paper with that person. We ask that you commit to planting each other's seed paper, which has been endowed with your commitments. Think about this for a second. You are intending to nurture someone else's dream. Don't forget to water it and give it sun.
Okay, how we doing? Has everybody exchanged? I'm going to repeat the instructions on planting. Perfectly fine. Hi. Hola. Has everybody found a home for their seeds?
Have you exchanged your papers? I hate to silence so many beautiful people, but we want to get you to the next show.
Okay. So I'm just going to repeat the directions on the planting. If you plant this paper in a pot or garden, and probably wait till spring if you're in like a place where it gets cold, like drops below zero, cover with just 1/8 inch of soil and keep moist until the seeds germinate. And then one sprout of these wildflowers can grow up to 3 feet tall. So here's the other thing. You know, it happens. Sometimes not all of us have green thumbs. We're saying like, do your best. But this is an intention. This is an intention. You're supporting other people's dreams and visions. That's the intention. We're supporting each other, right? It's not a magic spell. It's not a magic spell, it's just an intention. Full sun. Eighth of an inch, and keep watered until they sprout. And probably, like, again, if you live in a colder clime, I would wait till the spring to plant. So put it someplace safe. Maybe we need to send an email. I don't know. Send an email? Okay. We're going to take each other's, so I now have Eric's hopes and dreams in my hand. We're going to take each other's paper, and we are going to support them. We're going to nurture their dream. That's all. Thank you.
Our convening this weekend has been part of both a continuum and a launch.
On behalf of the steering committee, we thank you for joining us in Los Angeles to uplift and celebrate the stunning work and talents of our colleagues from all over.
And lastly, we would love to capture this moment, as we have historically done, with a group family photo. So everyone, please come down and join us on stage.